Hi, my name is Matthew, and I wanted to talk about being an artist with a speech impediment. Now, it's not very easy to navigate these waters with something that so many people can hear you down with, but I wanted to offer some insight on who I am, what I want to be, and hopefully how I can get there.
So, what was your primary motivation for making this video?
So, my primary motivation for making this video consists of, I want people to know not because of who I am, but that I am, if that makes sense. Because, being an artist, our art and our music, in my case, speaks for me. But then you get to the end of the show, you get to the end of the mirror, and the audience wants to talk to you. Or before that, even, you get to meeting with someone like you meet with a collaborator or you meet with an ensemble for the first time. And unfortunately, when I open my mouth, I only have to say one thing. Like, hi, my name is Matthew, and I have a slight speech impediment, please bear with me. And so everyone knows instantly, like, shut in, listen, like they've never listened before, and most of all, pay attention. So I want people to listen to what I have to say, not only because what I'm saying, in my opinion, is what I think is important, but also because the way that it comes out of my mouth is different than what they're used to.
So, tell me a little about your speech and what you would like others to understand about how it affects you.
So my speech, I've had it all my life, and as you might imagine, being in a life like that results in one of two things. You have very tough skin, or you have very like thin skin. Yeah, you have very tough skin or very thin skin, and after a while, no matter how tough your skin is, it likes to eat away at you. So hopefully, that won't happen to me anytime soon. But it has in the past, and putting that into perspective as an artist has led me to think mostly about. I'm not trying to in the cliche idea of like music, like where words fail, music speaks, but I think that permeates my life a little bit more on a deeper level for me. I want everyone to know that it isn't that I don't have an issue with what I'm saying. I have an issue with how it comes out of my mouth. And it's never easy to get in front of people for the first time. Because of that, I constantly have to remind myself that I'm there for a reason. I'm in front of people for a reason. I mean, I'm a composer or a conductor or whatever at the time. But most of all, that how the words that come out of my mouth are not limiting the things that are coming out of my mouth. If that makes sense.
So, what are your biggest goals regarding your brand, your channel, and your music making?
So my brand, I focus on streamline things. I focus on simplicity. I focus on easy to remember, easy to understand, and most of all, just simple. While my complex music is the exact opposite of that, full of layers and textures, I want my brand to stand out because of its simplicity. I want it to represent sim- the I want it to represent the simple idea that it means that music can carry or convey an emotion and convey many things that have a force on us, that have an impact on us as human beings, as listeners, audiences. And not just that, but it also transcends the idea of if my music is simple to understand, simple to grasp, in its presentation, no matter how complicated or complex it may be. I want the audience, the conductor, the musicians, and I want also myself, as I live in this music, to have an unhindered idea of how to play shared music in the simplest way.
What about your goals for your channel?
The goals for my channel consist of 1 million subs. No, I'm lying. The goals for my channel consist of letting others know that I exist, but not for personal reasons, um, not for selfish reasons. My slogan with my brand is learn more, be more. Learn more, and not just to me. Like, please don't just listen to me. Like, that's not my goal. My goal is to lift up the names, lift up the profiles, and share the wealth and contribution to other people by listening to their music. I want people to listen to new music that's being created, not just dead white guys. I also want all of us to listen to each other in the way that we present said ideas. I want us to listen to each other because listening gets us through. Because of that, be more means so much more than just be more. It transcends humanity, it transcends the idea of working with each other. And you have this kind of antecedent with listen more, and you have this consequent with be more. With my brand, I have these constant ideas of like simplicity and humanity and things like that, things that are essential to our soul, our core, and our being. Because of that, I want my brand to transcend all of these ideas in the most simplest way, in the most cohesive, concise way. And if you couldn't tell by this interview so far, I do have a lot of things to say. But more recently, as I've gotten older, I have learned that it takes courage to not say everything all at once.
What's your favorite part of your compositional process?
My favorite part of the compositional process consists of, and everyone hates this part, but I love it more than anything else, the beginning. So many people are afraid of a blank page, of a blank canvas. And yeah, look, it's terrifying, okay? Yes, people, it is very terrifying to start a new piece. But for me, there's so much opportunity, there's so much air in it, there's so much space. And because of that, I know that I can do whatever I want in that moment. If it's consistent with my style, or if it's consistent with something that I've been successful with in the past, that doesn't matter. I just want a new beginning. Like having the idea of a new beginning is something that I think a lot of us strive to have, but not many of us are willing to actually go through. So with my compositional style, again, man, like the beginning is so fun and it's so full of like when it says threatening with possibility, and I really love that idea, like so much. I love planning. I'm a person with tons of organizational prowess, I guess, and my love for organization, my love for form, and my love for taking a person on a journey, telling them what I want them to know, and bringing them back to reality.
What is your wish for others out there who may have the same or similar issues that you face?
So, my wish for others that go through and experience life from a perspective like mine, I think all of us share the same idea, and that's just we want to be seen as normal. And we're constantly towing this fine line between normal and not normal. And a few weeks ago, I had the idea of me being in the like uncanny valley where I appear to be normal, but the second that I open up my mouth, I'm not. I don't appear disabled enough to be considered disabled at this line. I don't know if there are many other people that experience this. Because granted, yes, I have had reconstructive surgery. I have had opportunities that have made me appear more normal, but the second that I open up my mouth, it all goes away. I want all of us to know, as a collective humanity, that normal is just a word. I want everyone to know that who I am as a whole is not trying to be normal. And I think that a lot of people, a lot of people that I have met that aren't disabled or that have speech impediments, all of us just want to be seen as normal because society expects us to be normal. And yet, we cannot. Man, this is like really, really heavy stuff. And yet we cannot assume that society will accept us as normal, if that makes sense. And all of that, at the end of the day, I think us not normal people just want one thing, and that is we want to be accepted for who we are, and not by society's standards. So I'm just on like break the fourth wall right now, and we're going to talk about something that's very interesting to me personally, because I do have a speech impediment, and people I don't get it, and I think that's a very good segue into this question. I don't get whether people like what I do as a form of inspiration for them, because I'm disabled and they feel like not sorry for me. It can never come across as that sentiment.
They're amazed at your accomplishment in spite of
Yeah,
the disability,
yeah. So,
which is totally wrong
mhm.
and off base.
And I know that this like hits a move with you
Definitely.
because you have built in the silent on the other side of the camera. And by all means, we can leave this in like fully. And there's some like that closing the fourth wall. Inspiration porn is very interesting to me because I don't know if people like what I do because they think like, oh, like poor guy, like, oh, he's accomplishing so much for having a speech impediment. You think that's fair to my work? No, it's not. You think that's fair to anything that disabled people accomplish? No. Why does it feel that all we need to do is just try and break even? That's not our goal. Our goal is to make good work.
It seems that society is very inspired by those with disabilities' ability to break even.
Exactly.
And that's not what you want.
Yeah.
As a person with a disability.
Exactly.
And I don't mean to speak for you.
No, but you and I have had these conversations for years now.
And we know that people with disabilities, you're not a monolith.
No. And why should I be?
One person's experience is not meant to mask and cover that of another. And it's important to note that. That's really important that, what you're saying is not the end all be all for those with disabilities.
Exactly. For other people with disabilities that might be watching this, I'm not trying to speak for you. I will never try to speak for you. Because every disability affects everyone differently. There are other people that have year-long treatments differently than I did. At the end of the day, like, I'm not just trying to break even. I'm trying to exceed expectations. I'm trying to rise above people that do not have disabilities. Just because I love what I do. Just because I love what I do enough to break even and then some doesn't mean that I want people to look at my work and judge it based on who I am or the product that I have become.
So all in all, the damaging ideal of inspiration porn, it extends far beyond, just you. It extends to everyone out there that has a disability and has to navigate that reality every single day. And when they quote unquote defy the odds,
Mm-hmm.
it's so inspirational, and everybody's just like, oh yes, let me just cry because I'm so inspired. But that's self-serving.
Yes, it is who in my when our expectations are set so low simply because we're disabled. Okay, I'm just saying, I'm just talking about things from my perspective. I'm not trying to speak for anyone else with a disability because, and I don't want y'all to come to me either. I'm just speaking from my perspective, from my experiences, because I've had one, if you will, really experiences with people that just hate me for who I am, hate me for my mind, hate me for my ability, stuff like that, and me with two. Think that everything that I have done has always been fantastic because they never expected me to accomplish anything in the first place. And I'll leave it at that.
Have you ever shied away from doing something that you wanted to do because you were afraid that your speech would negatively affect the outcome?
Oh man. I'm just gonna be really transparent. I know that I'm a composer. I know that I'm a conductor, and living, I'm just gonna break the fourth wall because I know that this will exist on the internet forever as long as the internet exists. But, in my current time that I'm recording this, we live in a pandemic. And living or being an artist in a pandemic is a very debilitating thing. It's very terrifying. And honestly, I'm scared. Anyway, yeah, so, because I said that because I'm just on it very real here. Even just applying for a job, I mean any kind of job. I mean working at the grocery store. I mean working at the gas station. Anything like that. It's terrifying. And yes, I have shied away from doing it. But that doesn't mean that I don't take my shot, or I won't shoot my shot, or that I don't try my best at the job. Because, just because I have a speech impediment doesn't mean that I can't be a contributing member of society. Just because I have a speech impediment doesn't mean that I can't tell someone, have a nice day. And will those words, the fabric of the word and have a nice day, be judged simply on me saying them or how they come out of my mouth? In which one of two things happens. They talk to my manager, oh, he's doing a fantastic job because of inspiration work. Or two, oh, you might want to check on him. Is he okay? And I hate that question. So having to, appeal to being a contributing member of society has been always met with the idea of, man, you're doing so good for what we expected you to do. Versus, are you doing good enough? Are you doing well enough? So, that has always made me want to shy away from these things. And at the end of the day, yeah, I have shied away from going all in for something because of my speech.
Even the making of this YouTube video.
Yeah, hey, let's just get very meta up in here. Recording this video, oh my god, I'm putting Okay, I'm gonna be very transparent here. I have been thinking about this video since I won the basic contest, competition contest in 2015. It has been 5 years that I've been thinking about making this video. I'm recording this video simply because I have nothing better to do. And also, because now is the time that people take the time to listen to things. And I want to release this because now I feel after 5 years of having like won this contest, holy crap, I might actually become someone in my community, in my field. Because of that, that doesn't take away the idea of me putting myself out there. Like, it just doesn't take away the fear of the things of, like we said, not meeting my baseline. And I know that the things that I'm saying right now are good. I know that the things that I'm saying right now really mean a lot to me because I've reflected on them for the past 27 years. And yet, because of the words that are coming out of my mouth, because of how they're coming out mechanically, seemingly destroying any integrity that they have. Because of that, I have shied away from jobs, but that doesn't mean that I haven't fully gone in. It's just something that I have to deal with. Because I know that people expect one of those two things from me. Exceed my baseline, but barely reach it.
Alright, so as an artist and as a composer, you also have another side, which is your experience as a conductor. So, how has having a speech impediment affected your experience as a conductor?
Well, as I said before, whenever I am on the podium for the first time, for one, I'm extremely excited. For two, I'm extremely terrified. And that feeling never goes away. So, when I get on that podium, I'm with my baton is right here. So I'm always just like do this because I don't know that's what I do. I put my hands together as a shaping blanket. And helping mechanism, if you will, I guess. And I say, hi everyone. Just so you know, and I look around the room, and the more that I speak, the more that I see everyone kind of just like listening in. Like, oh crap, I have to listen. Apparently none of us like to listen, right? But I say, hi everyone, just so you know, I have a slight speech impediment, and I want you to know that if there's anything that I can repeat for you, please raise your hand, let me know, I would be very happy to do so. To make sure that all of our lives are a little bit easier. And if you have any questions about what I said, raise your hand, and I would be happy to answer that, or repeat that, or say in a different way. And so, I'll be a little bit more transparent. If you know me as long as the interviewer has known me, you might know that what when I'm talking to someone for the first time, when I meet them and like I have like a specific set of vocabulary words that I use that I know are a little bit more consistently sounding than not. The more comfortable I get with you, the more that I use this lesson of vocabulary that is, including more words that are a little bit harder to understand on the onset. But the more that you talk to me, the more that I speak in front of you, and perhaps even in this video now, you might understand more of my speech than we did when we started, and that's not meta, right? When I get on this podium, or in front of anyone, I'm just in front of people, as a teacher, conductor, what have you, people automatically dial in and say, I have to listen to this guy. And like, he's already short to begin with, so like, he has to, like, say something important, right? And if not, then I'm gonna judge him for every inch that he is not. So, because of that, my experience as a conductor consists of that immediately, and I can sense it, I know. And immediately, the room just gets very quiet. know that I have them because in a one or two things again, and it just seems like we exist in this like duality of exceeding the baseline and merely reaching it. That's why an upgrade is going to be my best. Because conducting, for those of you that don't think about it this way, to me conducting is the quintessential method of non-verbal communication. And it's just in real time, and it's like we're having a conversation and just perhaps that saves time. And to me, conducting is so much more important than giving a verbal instruction in a setting. If there's something like musical that's like, oh, just play off of that. No, instead of saying like, and I'm not trying to imitate conducting lesson, but like, instead of saying, oh, just play off my off, or just play off my beat, that's not good enough. Instead, how about we use thinking out the mailman gesture of synchronization. And instantly, I don't have to tell you what to do, you just know how to do it. And if life, for me, could be that easy, man, I'd be so much happier. Not that I'm not, but like, happiness, and achieving that happiness that I want, is so ridiculously hard when people expect very little from you.
So tell me your name and 3 words you would use to describe yourself.
My name is Matthew Aaron Campbell, and the 3 words that I would describe myself are consistent, accountable, and passionate. So, I just wanted to say thank you for watching and thank you for your interest. I am questions slash ideas about what we talked about are down below in the description, and I just wanted to say again, thank you for watching. I know that there are a lot of things to look at here, but most of all, I just want to share them. There's a lot of people that aren't doing a lot of listening, and there's so many people talking right now. Hopefully this video will help all of us listen a little bit more, remind us to listen to each other a little bit more. Because you don't know what everyone else is going through. You don't know what stage of everyone's life we are in. But if we listen just a little bit more, maybe we'll be a little bit more.